Hello and welcome to the beautiful city of Sydney. The Opera House and the Harbour Bridge in the foreground. And about 10 or 15 kilometres away as the crow flies, or the helicopter flies in this case, is Homebush and Stadium Australia, the venue for the 2015 Asian Cup final between South Korea and the host nation, Australia. Both these teams coming through their semi-finals earlier in the week with 2-0 victories. South Korea saw off Iraq at this venue, and then Australia beat the UAE in Newcastle. And it is going to be packed tonight. More than 80,000 in here to watch this one. Really looking forward to it. A place that has seen some magic moments in Australian football, and South Korea look to play their part tonight. Yes, a beautiful city it is, and a really nice night for football as well. 23 degrees at the moment, and a nice cool breeze around as well. As the players go through their warm-ups, a look at the road to the final. South Korea came through a quarter-final against Uzbekistan in Melbourne, then the semi-final here against Iraq. That's why they're in the decider, and Australia saw off China in the quarters, and then the UAE in the semis.
Coach, sold-out stadium, final of the AFC Asian Cup. How are you feeling going into the game?
Very exciting. It's nice for the players. You know, we have some players who didn't play in front of 83,000 their whole life. So this is a little bit my preoccupation. How will they come out of the locker room and how they will accept this pressure? But if not, everybody is fit and we can work with the best team.
Last time Korea reached the final of the AFC Asian Cup was 1988. Many players in this squad weren't even born then.
Yeah. So we know we can make history, but the same also we have to say about Australia. A few years in this AFC Cup, and also they can win the first time. So both teams, it's a very important game for both teams, but I hope that both teams can offer a good spectacle, that both teams are on a good level and everybody can enjoy.
There's going to be a lot of fans watching back in Korea as well. Are you feeling a little bit of pressure from the fans back home?
The pressure I see in the stadium. On the television, we know there are millions of people maybe watching this. We spoke in a lot of meetings about the importance and... But like I said before, I hope that the pressure here in the stadium will be not too much for our guys.
Thanks very much, Oli. Good luck today. And huge game today, sold-out stadium, Asian Cup final. How are you feeling ahead of today's match?
Yeah, immensely looking forward to it. As you said, it's the final in our home country, and it's fantastic we're involved. Big crowd, challenging opponent. Should be a great night.
You came in with maybe one slight doubt over Ivan Franjic. How are you looking at the squad today?
Yeah, no, all good. Ivan's fine. So from our perspective, everyone's got a clean bill of health, and we'll have a strong 11 out there.
You've got a few players in your team, Mila Jedinak, Tim Cahill, who have played in the Asian Cup final before. How does that experience help them going into this game and help the rest of the team?
Oh, look, I'm sure it'll help having that experience, but yeah, this team's shown no fear this whole tournament. It hasn't taken a backward step, and it won't tonight.
Excellent. Good luck. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Sam. Good luck, mate. Supremely confident Ange Postecoglou, the Socceroos coach, as the fans stream in from the railway station not far from Stadium Australia. Plenty of green and gold around, and also support for South Korea from the Red Devils. It's been a feature of the tournament, the noise that the fans have brought, and we're expecting it to reach a new level tonight with 80,000 plus cramming in to this venue that was built for the Sydney Olympics in the year 2000. So many fantastic memories over the last 22 days of this Asian Cup of 2015. And now the 32nd and final game about to be played. Australia with the lion's share of support up against South Korea. And the players that will take the field arrive in the tunnel, led by two inspirational players from the Premier League, Mile Jedinak with Crystal Palace and Ki Sung-Young with Swansea City. And they have been key in guiding their nations to this decider. Neither team has ever won an Asian Cup final. South Korea, they won the trophy twice, but it was a round-robin tournament featuring just 4 teams back in 1956 and 1960, while Australia was in the decider 4 years ago in Qatar, heartbreakingly losing that final against Japan in the 117th minute. Alongside me for the call is former Socceroo Robbie Slater, and what an occasion to look forward to tonight.
Well, what a fantastic 2.5 weeks we've had, and it culminates here in the final against the two best teams throughout the tournament. South Korea, for their part, have got stronger and stronger. They've yet to concede a goal and have actually beaten Australia, of course, in the group stage by 1-0. And you'd have to say a little bit fortunate that night, although they did defend very, very well, and their goalkeeper Kim Jin-hyun had a fantastic game. But I would say that South Korea are a better team than they were that night now, because if we go back to that game, Son Heung-min, their star player from Bayer Leverkusen, came off the bench, affected by illness. Of course, he went on to get better and scored 2 goals against Uzbekistan in the quarter-final. So he's a better player, and that makes this team a better team. But Australia in great form as well, and it all looks forward to what should be a fantastic final in front of a packed house in Sydney.
Asian Cup anthem begins. The flags are out on Stadium Australia and the teams are about to follow. That's the trophy on offer, and listen to the roar. A fantastic noise around Stadium Australia. The two teams in their home kits tonight. Great to see that. They were in their change strips for that meeting a fortnight ago in Brisbane. But it's gold in the vast majority in the stands and plenty of support for the Red Devils as well.
And dignitaries onto the pitch to be introduced to the players and match officials. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Korea Republic. Australia.
Wherever you're watching around the world, hello and welcome to Sydney for the Asian Cup final of 2015. The host nation, Australia, trying to lift the trophy for the first time, while South Korea are hoping to end a 55-year drought since winning back-to-back titles in 1956 and 1960. Coach Uli Stilica springs a wild-card selection with the number 20, Jang Hyun-soo, making just his second start of the tournament. He plays as a defender at club level, but is likely to provide another body in midfield tonight. He comes in for Han Kyo-won in the only change to the team which saw off Iraq in Monday night semi. Son Heung-min is the undoubted star, the number 7. He came off the bench in the group game against Australia due to illness, but is raring to go tonight. And it's the final game for Cha Do-ri at international level. His 75th cap tonight, the veteran. Our referee tonight is from Iran, 36-year-old Alireza Faghani, who also took charge of the Asian Champions League final in this city between the Western Sydney Wanderers and Al Hilal. Well, right back, Ivan Franjic has been declared fit after a hip groin concern, so the Socceroos go into the final with an unchanged starting 11 after that comprehensive semi-final win over the UAE. There are 5 changes to the team which started against South Korea in the group stage in Brisbane. Mile Jedinak was injured that night, while Cahill, Cruz and Leckie were rested, and Jason Davidson was rotated out for Aziz Bayic that night. Tommy Urich and Nathan Burns likely to be first called upon if Australia need a goal, while Lee Kun-ho might be the man to provide a spark for South Korea. Ange Postecoglou very proud of his perfect domestic grand final record in Australia as both a player and coach. He's 6 out of 6 in deciders with South Melbourne and the Brisbane Roar, while Uli Stilica is no stranger to big finals. He won the European Championship with West Germany in 1980 before losing a World Cup final 2 years later. Ki Sung-young, the Swansea City man, the captain of South Korea, Tim Cahill, all eyes on him. 3 goals so far in this tournament, Australia's greatest ever goal scorer. A big occasion, it might just be a night for him. And as we tick down to 6 p.m. in Seoul and 8 p.m. here in Sydney, Australia and South Korea are about to vie for the Asian Cup 2 weeks after South Korea won the battle for top spot in Group A. So much more on the line tonight. Mile Jedinak, the Crystal Palace skipper, wears the captain's armband for the Socceroos. And they've been in formation, ready to go for some time. The player's eager. Referee checks his watch. And we're underway in the 2015 Asian Cup final between Australia and South Korea. Former Socceroo Robbie Slater alongside for the call. What a crowd, what a night in prospect.
And what an amazing 2.5 weeks that culminates here in Sydney, and it couldn't be set up any better. The two very best teams in the tournament, and what's on the line? Well, neither of these countries, of course, have won it. So a massive prize at the end of tonight's game. Of course, Australia, this is only their 3rd appearance. Beaten in the final 4 years ago against Japan, quarterfinalists in 2007.
Here's Jason Davidson winning that battle with Aziz Bayic for the left-back spot, and he's onside. Tim Cahill, clever ball from Leckie. Tries to stand it up to the back post, and normally it's the other way around. The winger's trying to tee up Tim Cahill.
They just spun into a bit of space there. Kwante Way straight onto Cha Do-ri, saying, you've got to track that run in the inside channel. And quite a nervous ball maybe from Tim Cahill, and on him the 2 big star players for both sides. Son Heung-min for Bayer Leverkusen, of course, 2 goals in the quarter-final against Uzbekistan, a superb performance. And Timmy Cahill, 2 goals against China in the quarter-final. Both sides did the job professionally in the semis. He sets it up for a cracker tonight.
Trying to keep plenty in the tank for this big occasion. Ivan Franjic was under an injury cloud. A hip concern, which then became a groin problem, apparently, but he's right to go. And his World Cup ended very early. He was forced off injured against Chile in the Socceroos group opener at Brazil 2014. So great to see him here on the big occasion tonight. Here's Son Heung-min having a go down the right-hand side, first up against Davidson. Son Heung-min, and they eventually closed him down, and it's a goal kick. Mile Jedinak arrived at just the right time for Australia.
I wonder if he just caught him a little bit as he pulled the trigger. Son Heung-min, we're used to seeing him playing on the left-hand side. He started on the right-hand side. He comes straight in and drives at the heart of the defence inside Franjic. Then just maybe the last touch a little bit too far, and then he clatters into Jedinak. There's no foul there. And he stayed down, and that's a worry already. The star player for South Korea down.
Well, they have had massive injury concerns. The Taeguk Warriors lost Kujao Chol in the last game against Australia when he was on the end of a strong challenge from Matthew Sporanovic. Lee Chung-yong, the Bolton man, he went home early with a broken leg. He's just caught, or he runs into the arm.
Yeah, I think he's winded there. I don't think it's the leg's the problem. You can see they're just pumping him on the chest, so he should be able to recover. It's certainly one to wake you up for the final, isn't it? But look, if you look at tonight's game, the way they're set up, in one of the key battles, and who can drive their team and drive the tempo of this game. Two players that play in the English Premier League. Swansea City, Ki Sung-yong, the number 16, and of course Mile Jedinak, the Australian captain, the number 15, who anchors and sits just in front of that back four. Two crucial players in the way this game might end up tonight.
And just getting back to that earlier point, you said neither side had ever won it before. Of course, South Korea have never won a final. The two times they did lift the cup, it was a round-robin event.
And if you look at the group stage, the game, South Korea had vastly different opposition tonight. We talked about Son Heung-min that evening, came on as a sub. He was underdone, in trouble through illness, and he's come back in much better form. As I mentioned, the two goals, super goals in the quarter-final against Uzbekistan. But Australia have been impressive as well throughout the tournament. Even the game they lost to South Korea, fortunate, unlucky.
Now Cruz is down. The two Bayer Leverkusen men in the wars in the opening minutes here. Of course, he's a teammate of Son Heung-min in Germany. He's normally on the bench behind Son Heung-min, looking for game time.
I'd like to say he's the one that keeps him out of the team, Franjic. And they look to find Cruz as he drops into that inside pocket. That's what Australia do. The two wide men drop into the pockets, open up the channels for the fullbacks.
Son Heung-min right to go again. He obviously fancies his chances against Jason Davidson. Again, he comes inside, looking to get a return ball from Lee Jung-hyuk, who asked the question. It's cleaned up by Ki Sung-yong, who's dangerous. Approaching the area, he can hit from long range. Drifts out to that wide left area where he opened Australia up in the group stage game for the only goal. And Franjic has tugged back his opponent there. Park Joo-ho getting him behind, and the card is out already. The right back in the book.
Yeah, very early, and that's good for Ivan Franjic. Came through that injury cloud, and it's good quick feet, isn't it, from the South Korean. Just tricked Franjic, got inside, and not really used to seeing Park Joo-ho in these sort of positions. He's the one that usually knows the deepest lying midfielder, but quick feet. Gets him past Franjic. Easy decision for the referee.
Yeah, he was forced off, Park Joo-ho, in that match in Brisbane a fortnight ago after a head knock. So a great opportunity from the set piece. Ki Sung-yong looking to pick out teammates in the middle. Kwak Tae-hui, the obvious danger, the big centre half. Sung-yong lifts it in, and Sainsbury there before he could get through to Kwak Tae-hui. He's headed back into the danger zone, away by Milligan, and finally clear of the danger zone by Tim Cahill.
Yeah, good defending from Trent Sainsbury. He was aware. Didn't get caught ball watching. Perfect positioning. A good start from South Korea.
Jason Davidson knows he's in for a battle tonight, facing up to Son Heung-min. You'd fancy that would have surprised Australia tactically. And credit Uli Stilica for seeing that opportunity. Sung Yung knew there was space out on that left-hand side. It'll be tracked down by Kim Yong-kwon, who was one of the goal scorers in the semi against Iran. Well won back by Luongo. Lecky's on the move, so is Cahill. Lecky got there first ahead of Chowdhury. Hasn't scored yet in the tournament, Matthew Leckie. And the follow-up work from Milligan wins the free kick for Australia.
Yeah, just left his foot in there. Jong Hyun-soo, a little acceleration for the first time from Australia. Luongo with nearly the perfect pass to Leckie. Good defending. Don't forget, no one scored against this team in this tournament. Haven't yet conceded the goal. Australia probably coming the closest in their group stage match. A terrific performance from Kim Jin-hyun, the South Korean goalkeeper.
He's played in 4 of the 5 games. Obviously kept clean sheets in each and every one of them. And Mile Jedinak is capable of finding the top corner.
Yep, we've seen him for Crystal Palace score from these sort of positions.
He's the only Socceroo in this lineup tonight who scored against South Korea as well. That was in the 2011 group stage, an equaliser on that night. Mile Jedinak! Oh, plenty thought it was in, but it dropped onto the roof of the net.
Yeah, it just wouldn't dip. To be fair, I think Kim Jin-hyun had that covered. Had it dipped, and I think he did. And he gets it up and over, but just can't bring it down.
And you see the net rippling. Many in the stands at the other end of the stadium thought it had gone in. What a magic moment it would have been for Australia had he done so.
You see in that replay, Kim Jin-hyun perfectly placed. If that did dip, I'm pretty sure he would have tipped that one over the bar.
Jedinak straight into the action, winning the header ahead of Nam Tae-hee. Here's another one for Cruz to chase. Kim Jin-soo goes to ground.
A terrific tournament, this left fullback from South Korea, Kim Jin-soo's had. And the way they're playing lopsided, South Korea. Park Ju-ho is the furthest on the left-hand side. The player who's come in is playing in midfield along Ki Sung-young, so really 3 with Nam Tae-hee as well. And the only width really provided by Son Heung-min on the right-hand side. And that's probably to open up that channel for Kim Jin-soo. He's been so effective getting forward in this tournament.
Milligan trying to push it out towards Davidson, but Chowdhury got there first. Both players a little nervy in that exchange. South Korean fans want a foul on Chowdhury. The referee happy to let things go. Pick out from the keeper to find Nam Tae-hee in the middle of the park for South Korea. One back by Luongo, who's doing some great work in the early stages in midfield for Australia. Lost out on that occasion though. One back by Franjic. Look at the closing down. There's no time on the ball at all.
As you'd expect at the start of the final, it's 100 miles an hour at the moment.
Ki Sung-young has a wonderful understanding with Chowdhury. Didn't open up as he would have liked. They were former teammates at club level at Celtic.
Didn't he do well there though? Just kept his composure. 2 players bearing down, still able to retain the ball.
This game being played at breakneck speed. Foul on Jedinak and a little bit of afters too. The referee wants to get on top of. Going to be a lecture for the Socceroo skipper.
There's nothing you wouldn't expect Nam Tae-hee to chase that ball. A bit of a tug, but we didn't merit that reaction. But such is the tenseness in this final, and so much at stake.
Here's Sainsbury has been so impressive in the heart of the defence for Australia. Robbie Cruz has been fouled again. And the free kick taken quickly with Cruz down. Here's Davidson, got 2 to beat. Elevation on the cross as he looks to pick out Cahill. Those two have a good combination. Last time around against South Korea, they were substitutes and they were warming up at half-time. Davidson with the crosses and Cahill with the finishes. He's offside this time. Australia's main man up front.
Yeah, just a little bit ball watching and then steps back, but he started from an offside position. And they've got such good understanding that South Korean defence, they've been imperious in the central area at Kwak Tae-wee and Kim Yong-gwon. Largely, well, a lot to do with why they haven't conceded the goal.
It took a little while to stumble on his favourite combination, Uli Stilika. And when he did, it's been Kwak Tae-wee and Kim Yong-gwon in the middle ever since. And goalkeeper as well, Kim Chin-hyun. Park Joo-ho with far too much on that. Trying to lift it over the top. Plays his club football in Germany with Mainz. Sainsbury again, he's the preferred outlet for rolling those passes through to the attackers, but that was sloppy. Lee Jung-hyuk with the hold-up play. Ki Sung-yeon again searching down that left-hand side. They fancy their chances there of capitalising on any positional mistakes from Australia. And now searching wide. Terrific ball, but Son Heung-min's offside this time. Must have been pretty close.
Yeah, again, similar to Cahill's just before, was just his starting position. Again, it's just ball watching rather than just worrying about his position. So there's his starting position, and by the time the ball comes, he's offside. Well, he's offside when the ball's on its way, of course, but once he touches the ball or gets involved in the play, the referee's assistant raises the flag.
Good work by Australia defensively as well. They were all in sync as Luongo gets past Park Joo-ho. Branjic can't do the same. Early throw, Australia looking to play high tempo, and South Korea happy to play along as well. What a terrific advertisement this is. The way both teams are playing at a high tempo, Robert.
Yeah, fantastic start to the match. And South Korea probably just shading it at the moment, but really there's little in it.
Movement off the ball from Luongo, just drifting in between the lines, and now Cruz trying to get past Kim Jin-soo. They'll both be familiar with one another. Another Bundesliga player, the left back for South Korea, Kim Jin-soo, has his football with Hoffenheim.
Now we talk about Kim Jin-soo, his offensive capabilities, but you can see there he's always switched on defensively as well. Terrific tournament he's had. And Australia just not getting those triangles they try so successfully made in this tournament.
Kim Jin-soo made his international debut against Australia at the East Asian Cup back in 2013. These two countries do have a rich history. 33rd meeting between the two. Australia just shade it with 12 wins to South Korea's 11. Australia qualified for their first World Cup finals in 1974 thanks to a win over South Korea in Hong Kong. A neutral venue it was to settle that tie.
So much of the play has been in that side of the pitch, hasn't it? Korea down the left, Australia down the right. So I haven't seen much of Son Heung-min or Australia's part Leckie and Jason Davidson.
Here's Sporanovic, who won the Asian Champions League final with the Western Sydney Wanderers last November. So he's looking for a rare double for a player to beat Asian champions, both for his country and club.
Yeah, just look at South Korea, the way they're set up. He's certainly tweaked it a lot, hasn't he? In from the start of the match, it's now really a basic 4-4-2 with Nam Tae-hee staying upside or up along Jung-hyuk. And Son Heung-min is much deeper now, so flat four across the middle. Strange position for Park Joo-ho out there on the left-hand side. He's played central the whole tournament.
South Korea. 34 years of age, 75th and final cap for his country tonight. Matthew Leckie stopping him in his tracks there, but throw taken quickly to Son Heung-min. Yadanak immediately gets his head up, but Cahill was going the other way. Kim Yong-gwon stepped up.
Read that well, didn't he, Yong-gwon? Trying to find the feet of Timmy Cahill. That's what they're finding it hard to do at the moment. The two screeners.
Offside this time against Lee Jung-hyuk.
Jong Hyun-soo and Ki Sung-yong just cutting off those channels.
Davidson forced back by Son Heung-min. Milligan, one of 5 players, Sydney born and bred in this Australian starting lineup. Including this man on the ball, Luongo, and now Sainsbury. Spranovic getting past Lee Jung-hyuk. Milligan just rotating into the position left vacant by Spranovic momentarily. And again, good pressure by South Korea, forcing Australia back.
Yeah, good structure from South Korea. There's a good shot of it, the 2 up front, the 4 across the middle.
There's space out here on the left-hand side for Davidson. Yadanak tried to poke it through the middle. And just dwelling in possession for a moment there was Kwak Tae-hui, got away with it. What about the rise from Sainsbury to bring that down for Milligan? It broke for Cahill nicely, and Luongo tried to cushion it into the path of Robbie Cruz.
They never want Luongo to take the easy pass. And fine, Cruz just overhit it. And we look at the tournament Australia's had, and take the semi-final out of it. They have had slow starts in a lot of their games. Even go back to the first one against Kuwait, they were 1-0 down. Of course, the semi-final, 2 goals up inside quarter of an hour.
Fantastic ball from Kwak Tae-hui, kicking out Park Joo-ho, but Kranjic getting the foot in quickly. Now Nam Tae-hee. And Jin-soo has to retreat to his skipper, and all the way back to his keeper. Touch off Jang Hyun-soo. A lot of people surprised back in South Korea that he was chosen in the starting lineup. Terrific run this from Milligan, powering his way past a couple.
And he's given a handball there as well. And Son Heung-min.
Davidson thought about leaving it, but instead they're going to keep the ball moving. Sainsbury. He's missing his mark. He's upset with himself. 20 minutes gone at Stadium Australia. No goals as yet.
The terrific tempo and intensity in the final. And sometimes they don't live up to expectations. Only early yet, but certainly the intensity's there in this. It's just interesting watching the shape of both sides. And in the modern game, I think the way the game's played these days, it becomes more and more difficult to categorically state what a team's shape is for the whole 90 minutes, because there's so much mobility and flexibility in systems these days. When the centre half split and the central midfielder drops in between, so it's ever changing.
Jang Hyun-soo coming off second best. The studs raised as well against Mark Milligan. Plays his club football with the other team from Guangzhou RNF. Of course, Guangzhou Evergrande are the powerhouse of the Chinese Super League. He's with the other club in that city. And plays in defence for them, so all the people tuning in from China tonight will be surprised to see him playing in midfield.
We'd have to say that tactical tweak has certainly worked for the moment in this opening period. they've certainly frustrated Australia. They've given little space between the lines.
And an extra body where the likes of Luongo and Milligan will be looking to pick a pass for either Cahill, Lecky or Cruz.
We just see there a snapshot of the game at the moment. So many players in a tight area and not being able to... Ki Sung-yueng couldn't play himself out of that. There's too many bodies.
Luongo can't keep that one in. He's going to be the first to try and open up the pitch here. Plenty going on down that far side at the moment. Sainsbury able to retreat to Matt Ryan. He's very confident with the ball at his feet. Another one by Alireza. Spranovic can't go backwards with Park Joo-ho pushing out. Clever ball out in front of Kim Jin-soo from the skipper. The left back pushing on. That's going to be a foul. Luongo sliding in.
The acceleration and the change of pace from Kim Jin-soo and Luongo. Clearly late. Maybe the little touch of the ball, but he's not enough on it. And certainly more at the left fullback, and another big surging run from the South Korean left fullback.
And at the moment, it's the Red Devils, the fans of South Korea, making most of the noise in the stands with their clappers. Such a feature of that 2002 World Cup that they co-hosted with Japan. The colour and the noise they brought. Cheering on their skipper, Ki Sung-yueng, into a dangerous area, and the header goes wide. Kwak Tae-hui knows he should have done a whole lot better there.
Well, having got into that position, it's a terrific ball in from Son Heung-min. He gets in front, it's a free header inside the 6-yard box. Brilliant ball in. He gets up, and he gets too much on it. You see his eyes are looking at the goal, but the ball comes off too full off the forehead, and that's the first big chance of the game, really.
Does have 5 goals for his country. Now Cruz with the early ball. Cahill gets there. Tim Cahill forces the save out of Kim Chin-hyun. Electrifying attack from Australia from one end to the other in a heartbeat.
Well, Kwak Tae-hui, I just said, with the best chance of the game. There's the second one, and there's how dangerous Cahill. You know, he hasn't been in the game, but a lightning counter-attack down the right-hand side. Back to Tim Cahill. Great first touch, swivels, and it's a good save from Kim Jin-hyun.
And the first corner the other night against the UAE in the semi. It was Trent Sainsbury who rose. Here comes Cahill. Ki Sung-yueng's header went backwards. Not what he was after, but Chardou-Ree got it clear. And there might be a counter-attack on here. Ryan's a long way from home. Just seeing off the threat of the pacey Son Heung-min. The game flowing nicely. Davidson looking for Cahill. Kim Jin-soo committed, didn't win it, but safely through to the keeper.
Well, just a rising tempo of the game. 2 chances, good chances at either end. This is the one. What a pass that is, and he just dummies it, lets it go, plays the early ball in. Look at the run of Cahill. Comes across. Kwak Tae-hui makes that half a yard, goes to try and beat Kim Jin-soo at the near post, and a smart save from the South Korean keeper. He was man of the match in my book in the group stage game, Kim Jin-hyun.
Yeah, one save in particular to deny Robbie Cruz when he weaved his way through. Here is Cruz being sought out by Davidson, but too much on it. Tae-hui being closed down by Cahill. Cool stuff from the Al Hilal man. He was in this city for that Asian Champions League final against Matthew Spranovic. And the Western Sydney Wanderers took on Al Hilal in a 2-legged affair. Eventually won by the Australian side 1-0 on aggregate. He's got 2 to try and beat, and he gets the benefit of the whistle there. Uli Stilica not happy with the call.
You wouldn't expect anything else from Uli Stierlicher.
Was right under his nose. Here goes Robbie Cruz.
Also the career as a very hard defender, Uli Stierlicher.
What a legend he was in his playing days.
There's some CV.
Real Madrid, and he was known as the stopper. Borussia Mönchengladbach was his club side in Germany. Diagonal ball from Kim Jin-hyun looking for Lee Jung-hyuk. It's been the fairy tale story for South Korea in this tournament. Hadn't played for his country before arriving in Australia. Scored in the pre-tournament friendly against Saudi Arabia, and now he's got 3 goals to his credit. It was the difference in that group game in Brisbane. Cruz getting more and more involved as this game goes on. Jedinak searching. Can't see a ball forward, so has to retreat to Franjic. Sainsbury and Spranovic exchanging their fair share of passes thus far. Again, that closing down of Son Heung-min, forcing Davidson back. And what that win in the group stage did for South Korea was it ensured that they would have an extra day's rest on Australia heading into this final. This game being played at a frenetic pace. Just wonder if fatigue might be the ultimate factor in this game. Australia will back their fitness. Tim Cahill writing an article in the local press today saying that they're much more fitter than they were 4 years ago in Qatar when they were the walking wounded in that decider against Japan. Leckie can turn if he likes.
Yeah, just didn't have a little look behind him there, Leckie. I realised he was in that little pocket in between the lines.
Cruz getting it in, looking for Cahill. That time it's tidied up by Kwak Tae-hui. Cruz just giving the work to Tim Cahill, not afraid to let the veteran know what he thinks. How to play for the goal kick. That 1-0 win for South Korea that these fans celebrated a fortnight ago in Brisbane was their first in 5 attempts on Australian soil. Australia had won 3 of the previous 4. Goals as yet in the opening half hour. Well, he was timing his run there. And onside was Lee Jung-hyuk. Key piece of defending. And that right-hand side for Australia. And Franjic bended down the line to Luongo. Layoff from the striker, trying to get into a dangerous area as well. Here's Son Heung-min peeling off. Back to Chardou-Ri. Milligan did enough to put Son Heung-min off. Now Leckie trying to use his pace. And Postecoglou with arms outstretched, thought that Leckie was fouled. Now Cahill will try and win it back in a dangerous area.
That's really good play from the big defender, Kwak Tae-hui, but they've got him a little bit disorganised here, Australia.
Here goes Leckie, he's got Davidson overlapping. Just had to retreat. Did the left back. And the movement ahead from Cruz. Milligan can't poke it through.
Just getting good numbers in and around the ball and tracking their runners, South Korea.
Chardou-Ri. Typically energetic work to clear that upfield. Back to Leckie though. Faces up against the veteran. And that'll be last touch off Leckie. He's going towards the corner post, but he'll have to get back and think about his defensive work as Chowdhury had his measure there.
And it's one of those frustrating ones as a winger. You take on your defender and you try to get around the outside of him, and you always, that's the thing to do for a winger, and you always say, well, look, you're at least going to get a free, a header, a throw-in rather, or a corner, and just a frustrating one for him. I think the last touch did come off him. It's good defending from Chowdhury. The game's so tight.
Now all of the targets have come out to this right-hand side for South Korea. Hooked out of play by Davidson. Chowdhury, who was plucked from obscurity really by Gus Hiddink, heading into that 2002 World Cup. Missed out in 06, then went to the 2010 World Cup. Missed out again last year, Brazil 2014, but back for this Asian Cup and looking to go out a winner. Now, call, Kwak Tae-hui on Cahill. Good physical battle, that one. Son Heung-min. Don't do that too often. Milligan got a foot in quickly to prevent the counter-attack. That's coolly done by Spranovic. Safety first by Milligan, and Cahill came back from an offside position that time.
Just the same thing again. He's put following the play. And once he steps back in, he's started from an offside position.
Nam Tae-hee dumped into the advertising hoardings. Franjic is going to get a word. Of course, he's on a booking.
It's just enthusiasm. And you see he's lined him up. You've got to be careful. He said he's on a yellow card.
His argument there would be shoulder to shoulder, but it was a bit more than that.
A little bit more, I would say. I think it was definitely a free kick. The right decision, sensible refereeing.
Good strong challenge on Son Heung-min.
He's just not able to get into the game. His touch has just let him down on a couple of occasions. It is tight.
Great first touch from Leckie to get away from the attention of Park Joo-ho. Again, more often than not, Australia are forced back to Sainsbury and Spranovic. Been a feature of Ange Postecoglou's sides in the domestic competition to pass the ball from side to side and try and wear out your opponents. Is that part of the game plan here, Robert?
Well, I think he likes to get it forward in the best possible circumstances, and if it's not on, of course, keep the ball is the philosophy. And he does like to see his players play forward if they can, but South Korea are just very well organised.
In their last meeting, Australia had about 65% of possession. Still couldn't break down South Korea. Layoff from Leckie missed its mark, and it broke kindly off the referee for Cruz. But Franjic outside, and the two Bayer Leverkusen men go head-to-head, and no foul by Son Heung-min.
Well, Son Heung-min with another mistake, playing that one into the referee, and I think that was a free kick. First look at it, looked like he took him out, Son Heung-min.
There'll be a photo of that exchange appearing in Germany, no doubt. Son Heung-min just drifting over to Robbie Cruz's area just to ask him which flight he's back on to get ready for Bundesliga action. It's great to see Robbie Cruz fit and well again after missing out on the World Cup with a heartbreaking knee injury. Here's Park Joo-ho, Nam Tae-hee, twisting Jedinak this way and that. Good movement off the ball. Kim Jin-soo now just delayed the pass. Oh, the volley was spectacular and only just missed from Son Heung-min. Terrific build-up from South Korea.
Well, he's so unlucky. Brilliant technique from Son Heung-min. Great build-up play. Nam Tahi and Kim Jin-soo with the perfect pullback. Maybe just slightly behind him, but he's so unlucky. Horizontal, catches it, maybe a little bit of shin, and it just flashes past that far post.
And a volley not dissimilar to the one that broke Australian hearts 4 years ago. Tadanari Lee in that 117th minute, left alone in a similar position. An unerring volley on that night. And Son Heung-min, terrific technique. And Australia breathe a huge sigh of relief. Lee Sun-young then closed down by Yedinak.
There we go, the two Premier League stars. Whatever happens in this game, they'll always be able to repay each other when Swansea take on Crystal Palace. Great balance. Lee Sun-young. Yedinak wasn't going to let him go by, was he? Thought he might have got a bit of the player before he got the ball.
Another photo opportunity for the English Premier League websites that time. Some great contests out there. Here goes Chowdhury now. Into the danger zone. Son Heung-min again teed up and it deflects out of play. Australia leading a charmed life. They're giving Son Heung-min so many chances, and he's a frustrated man at the moment.
Well, Lee Sun-young plays in Chowdhury, takes one touch, sees Son Heung-min's unmarked, and it's Massimo Luongo who comes back and gets a crucial touch interception, and it just goes aimlessly over the crossbar, but two quick accelerations from South Korea.
He looks a new man, doesn't he, after recovering from illness in the early weeks of the tournament. Son Heung-min buzzing about all over the place tonight. And most of the chances falling his way. And Matt Ryan sorting out the defenders in his 6-yard box. Delivery from Kim Jin-soo, headed away by Cahill. Home fans happy with the striker's work, and that'll do as well from the home team's perspective. And we're sloppy from Park Joo-ho.
Well, Timmy Cahill showing that it's all about attacking headers. A great defensive header, got distance and height. And South Korea, great 5 minutes from now, two accelerations. And the play from Lee Sun-young when he just held it up and waited for Chowdhury to bomb on over the top and played him in, and Luongo with a very important interception. Australia on the back foot.
Son Heung-min's on the move again. Sainsbury tracked the run, but Son Heung-min picked up the scraps, and that time the intervention of Franjic was crucial.
What about his little drop of the shoulder there, and Franjic aware of it?
Takes a bit of a risk diving in like that. Franjic had to win the ball and did against Nam Tahi that time. The Australian fullbacks getting a real working over tonight.
Son Heung-min, haven't seen Trent Sainsbury turned like that in this tournament too often.
Now they get another corner. Last touch off Cruz. Matt Ryan just boots the ball away in frustration.
This is character now for Australia. They're going through a tough period. South Korea on the ascendancy. Another set piece on Heung-min to take it right foot of the in-swinger it'll be.
Look at the attention for Kwang Tae-hui, the number 5 on the edge of the area. It's rolled short. Now they'll make their move in the middle. And the referee is pulling out a yellow card here, and it's shown to Jason Davidson. It's a free kick on the edge of the area for South Korea. The referee was keeping an eye on all that push and shove.
Well, was it on Jong Hyun-soo? Yellow card for now. Both fullbacks for Australia with yellow cards, and I think the lucky thing there is, if you look at it as a positive, is it wasn't in the penalty area. Just on the edge, so Jason Davidson
gets hold of the shirt the whole way.
And it is Jong Hyun-soo just spun around 3 players, and Jason Davidson with the tug on the shirt. Good spot from the referee, but how many times do we see that sort of action and nothing really given? So referee with his eyes everywhere, because Son Heung-min was just about to sling it into the penalty box.
And what do you do here? Robbie. We often see these free kicks are tough to execute.
Well, I know what you want. You want a Matt Letizia flick-up free kick. Well, I don't know if we're going to see that. Now, we've seen quite a few of these in this sort of position. It is a difficult position here because you can't get it up and over and down. There's no doubt about that. It's right on the edge of the box. So normally the wall is going to protect one side, the goalkeeper will go the other side, and normally you go for power to the goalkeeper's side.
They've had a fair committee meeting over how they're going to construct things here.
What's the old saying, too many cooks?
Will they spoil this broth? Ki Sung-young. Son Heung-min there. And it is Ki Sung-young, and that's what you've got to try and do. You've got to take the pace off it. It was too easy for Matt Ryan.
No, for me, that's the wrong option. I mean, that was a back pass.
Early release from the Australian keeper right into the path of Matthew Leckie.
And everything going South Korea's way at the moment. Matthew Leckie with the targets on Park Joo-ho.
The Australian fans certainly getting on the back of the officials at the moment. I don't know about you, I'm happy if they're going to start cracking down on shirt holding from set-piece situations. We all want to see more goals in games. And this time around, another shirt hold is what the assistant spotted there against Matthew Leckie.
Again, it's just the want, the enthusiasm to get on the ball, and Park Joo-ho did well just to get his body between Leckie and the ball.
Approaching half-time in Sydney in the Asian Cup final, and Ange Postecoglou, who could have played ball boy there, will be pretty keen, you'd imagine, to get his team into the dressing room and perhaps tweak things himself, Robbie.
Yeah, look, I think, you know, it's talked about in this tournament, apart from the semi-final, they haven't had fast starts, but they've normally clicked into gear around the 25th minute, 25th minute mark. Hasn't happened so far, and I guess if you look at the other games as well, they just haven't moved that ball as quick. But credit South Korea, their structure, defensive structure, they've made it very difficult, little space between the lines. And when they've attacked, particularly in the last 10 minutes.
Oh, lovely little turn from Luongo! Oh, what a goal from Massimo Luongo! Australia under the pump for the last 10 minutes. And their Swindon Town man, a rising star in this tournament, has thumped one into the bottom corner, and South Korea have conceded for the first time in this Asian Cup.
And against the run of play, and for once, what about the turn from Luongo? But they find a little bit of space in between the lines, but that's all it was. The ball from Trent Sainsbury, look at the turn. Brilliant, 2 touches, and then just hits that with real venom, and it beats Kim Jin-hyun at his near post. I think he'll be a little bit disappointed with that. Kim Jin-hyun has had a great tournament, but take nothing away from the strike. And Australia, against the run of play, take the lead.
And Massimo Luongo, who made his debut last March against Ecuador, wasn't involved at the World Cup, bided his time, impressed everyone in the Australian coaching setup with his work ethic and his intelligence. And what a moment to strike right before half-time when they looked to be under the cosh in the preceding 10 or 15 minutes. And he's got his second international goal. He popped up with that header in the group opener, the tournament opener against Kuwait. That was his first goal for his country. This one means so much more. And they might be in again here. Milligan lifting it over the top to Cruz. And he left Kim Jin-soo on the deck. No whistle for South Korea.
Well, I was just talking.
Missed his mark.
And you're talking about, you know, how do you break down a structure? Well, sometimes it's just an individual with that flair, pull something out of the hat, and that's what Luongo did. There was little space. It was a brilliant turn. Good first touch, better second touch, and an even better third one.
And to put it in context, that was a Swindon Town man, third tier of English football, getting away from Ki Sung-young, a Premier League star with Swansea City, and everyone watching Luongo in this tournament thinks he's destined for a higher tier.
Oh, you think so? Surely only has to be a matter of time, because it's not only that. Tonight he's had a fantastic tournament. One of the players of the tournament. You might expecting Omar Abdul-Rahman to take it out.
Cross whipped in, Davidson at the drop of the ball. Son Heung-min will be able to track this one down as we wait for the half-time whistle here in Sydney. Son Heung-min trying to get South Korea back on level terms. Nice headed clear by Spranovic, and Ange Postecoglou, you can see, just asking how long on the clock to the referee. And there goes the half-time whistle, and what a roar around Stadium Australia. Those in goal rejoicing at that wonderful strike from 22-year-old Massimo Luongo after Son Heung-min had so many chances for South Korea. But at half-time, it's Australia 1, South Korea 0. Well, what an entertaining final we are witnessing here in front of 80,000 plus. Uli Stilica, his side has been set up so well, defended terrifically well. They started to dominate that half, and they were undone by a moment of inspiration from Massimo Luongo. So the players back out there, and a real spring in the step for the Australian side, particularly that man, Massimo Luongo, after that stunning goal just before the break. The first that South Korea have conceded in this entire tournament. And the young man who's right up there in player of the tournament voting has just given the judges something else to consider. Omar Abdul-Rahman, the UAE playmaker, considered the favourite for that award. And South Korea, can they rally? They did seem the most likely to score the game's first goal before they were opened up by that neat turn from Luongo. And Ange Postecoglou had a crucial team talk to give to his side. Players in position and ready to go. The second half in the 2015 Asian Cup final underway, and South Korea are chasing the game now after that amazing goal from Massimo Luongo just before the break. And they're on the front foot immediately. Here's Ki Sung-young. Time to tee up the shot. Sainsbury got the block. And Cruz hooks it up towards Cahill, and he's going to get the whistle. It's all happening again, Robbie Slater.
No, Kwakte Wade just getting too close. Didn't really need to do that. Right over the top of Tim Cahill, but South Korea there. A good opportunity and a good block from Trent Sainsbury. And Ange Postecoglou at half-time will know that Australia have to get better. South Korea on the better side in that first half. And Australia with a real knockout finish from Massimo Luongo just towards the end of that first half. And will that change the momentum?
Lovely ball over the top. Cruz, little flick on. Cahill goes down. He just slipped, though, as he tried to roll his man.
Well, the slip was unfortunate because I think he'd rolled him, and his next touch was going to be a striker goal.
Lecky tried to move it on first time to Franjic. Upset with himself, not getting the desired touch. Lee Jung-hyuk with the flick on. Sainsbury slipped, and it's opened up this space for the striker. Park Joo-ho among those to pick out in the middle. Son Heung-min will track it down. Jang Hyun-soo with the attention of Robbie Cruz. Retreats to Cha Do-ri. Ki Sung-young, they've got an overload down that right-hand side, South Korea. Cha Do-ri just managed to stay on side.
And he had to halt his run, didn't he? Because he would have run offside. So because of that, he couldn't get to the ball, but they still win a throw-in.
Gets it back this time, and again, he got back in time. Matt Ryan has to let it go. Franjic didn't really deal with it. Park Joo-ho now wins the corner.
That was a good ball in. And Cha Do-ri bending it to the back post, no one coming in. Jong Hyuk had gone to the near post, and Park Joo-ho wins the corner for South Korea. So a good start for the second half from South Korea.
And they're attacking the end where their Red Devils fans make all the noise at that northern end. Son Heung-min again rolling it short. We saw this in the first half. Jin-soo. Great movement off the ball. Cahill with the athletic clearance, trying to get back to his feet. And Son Heung-min shows off his quick feet before Luongo took it away.
You can see the desperation in that defending. Luongo and Cahill both making two clearances. They're taking that short corner twice now, South Korea. You just wonder whether better to sling one in.
That aerial threat of Kwak Tae-hui, which nearly paid dividends. Jang Hyun-soo, a surprise selection. Uli Stilica resisting the temptation to make a change at half-time, to chase the game too early. Did break for Son Heung-min, but the referee deciding that it was advantageous to take a free kick from this area. Kim Jin-soo coming across to whip it in on the left. There's the danger man who scored the opening goal against Iraq in the semis, Lee Jung-hyuk. One up there as well, the other goal scorer on Monday night, and it's Cahill with another defensive header. Ki Sung-young must have thought about the ball over the top there. It's a nice run being made by Nam Tae-hee and also Kim Yong-kwon. And the flag is going to go up here. Australia pushing out at just the right time, in sync. And catching their man. Milligan put under pressure. Looking for a killer ball was Jang Hyun-soo. And did cross the sideline. Franjic a little lax there.
Because he's under pressure from Park Joo-ho. Just took his eye off it. A little bit sloppy from Australia.
So eager to get the ball back into play, South Korea. Two of their players nearly took a throw at the same time. Here's Nam Tae-hee. He's offside this time. Credit the discipline and organisation of Australia's defence. Drifted towards Cahill. It was the meat in the sandwich. That's going to be a free kick for lying on the ball. Jang Hyun-soo. Free kick taken quickly to Cruz. Only Cahill to aim at. And he's going to be hard-pressed to get on the end of that.
Yeah, it's a decent ball, but he just needed more bodies in the box, didn't he? You see what he's trying to do? He bent it in front of the keeper, but only Cahill to hit, really. Lecky was on his side.
What about the endeavour of Cha Do-ri to keep that ball in? Of course, it was last touch of Australia, but in the sense that if he kept it in, there might have been a chance the other way. open territory in more ways than one. South Korea behind for the first time in the tournament. And it's a set-piece opportunity here for Australia. Kim Jin-soo into the back of Robbie Cruz. And Jedinak might have had a word and said, why is that not a yellow card? Both our fullbacks have been booked. And you might have a point, because Cruz was about to push into open territory. The man of the moment. He must be asking questions all around the world. Why is this man playing in the third tier in England? His delivery not bad either to the back post. Sporanovic rose and it's last touch off him.
Yeah. Maybe just a little bit too much height on that free kick. 3 Australians in there. Comes off Sporanovic last.
Jung-hook. They're calling him Gunderella in South Korea. His military background and the Cinderella story of this tournament. I wonder if he might yet have a say in this game. Terrific goal-scoring record thus far. Goal every other game. 3 and 6 before tonight. Cruz can't get away from Kim Jin-soo. A good battle, that one, though. Long throw, looking for Cahill. Luongo again using his body intelligently. Let it run to Milligan. Sainsbury again finding the right ball into the stride of Milligan. Movement ahead of him from Leckie, which was ignored. Safety first from Milligan. Understandable with Australia a goal to the good. On ball from Davidson wasn't on. South Korea 0-3 before tonight in Asian Cup finals. There are only 2 victories coming when it was a 4-team round-robin competition back in 1956 and 1960. In their 3 previous finals, 72, 1980 and 88. And been on the wrong end of the ledger.
And just, again, great defending. Time Kwak Tae-Wei coming in with the challenge on Leckie.
2 men in their mid-30s going at it there. Cahill and Charduri. It'll be a fairy tale night for one of those men. Tim Cahill saying in the local press today that this is his World Cup final, and all of the Australian players on home soil in the continental decider. Good movement off the ball here from Ki Sung-young, and it opened up that channel to play the ball to Park Joo-ho. Delivery into a dangerous area and headed away by Sainsbury. One back by the presence of Cahill. Milligan encouraged to turn, and Leckie's not going to find his target.
Yeah, but it was a difficult ball too, Leckie. Only would have rather that maybe to cushion it into his chest, too high out to head it. Didn't have a runner on his left-hand side, but Trent Sainsbury's been outstanding in this tournament, and some key interceptions this evening.
Look at the space opening up here. Intelligent run from Kim Jin-soo. Park Joo-ho took the wrong option there. Should have played in Kim Jin-soo earlier.
Certainly was bombing into an acre of space, and Park Joo-ho just didn't get the ball under control to be able to find him.
One back by Son Heung-min. Franic has got to let him go as he's on a booking. Son Heung-min can whip it to the back post. And he elects to hold it up for his skipper. Ki Sung-young leaves it for Son Heung-min. Curling and deflecting, and Ryan prevents the corner and palms it out for the throw.
Yeah, there's no question. It wasn't on target, but he didn't want to give away the corner. Just palms it away. Just wonder whether Son Heung-min should have crossed that one.
Nam Tae-hee now. They're making aggressive runs forward. South Korea Nam Tae-hee getting his head up, not sure who that was meant for. Davidson able to pounce. Milligan's first touch allowed him to play in Leckie, who might be able to turn on the afterburners.
Haven't got the numbers forward.
Cahill's going to return the pass, and Leckie got back on side, isolated, one-on-one. Home fans want him to take on his man and use that blistering pace. Leckie maintaining possession, breaks for Franjic. Look for that early ball to Cahill.
Again, it was Kwak Tae-wee not allowing Leckie to get past him. Counter-attack was on. Only had 2 forward, and they still managed to make something of it.
Franjic, good skill to keep it in initially, but he loses out to Kim Jin-soo. One back just as quickly by Luongo.
He's showed great maturity, hasn't he, Luongo? As this tournament's gone on, he's physically almost looks like he's growing before your eyes. And Kim Jin-soo, another outstanding performance from him at left fullback for the moment.
Just on Luongo, was signed by Tottenham as a teenager. They saw a lot of potential in him.
Well, they were right.
And Tim Sherwood was unhappy when he was eventually moved on under Andre Villas-Boas, I think it was.
Well, what he needs is Tim Sherwood to get another club in the Premier League. He's been very close.
He's been linked with every job that's become available, hasn't he? Oh, Spranovic is going to go in the book now. That's 3 of the back 4 for Australia on a booking. Cynical challenge on Nam Tae-hee.
Nam Tae-hee gets there quickly. It's more a clumsy challenge, isn't it? It's been good tonight, Nam Tae-hee. Terrific feet. Sorry, great close control he has.
Spranovic also booked in the group stage against South Korea. That cost him a spot in the quarterfinal. Ki Sung-young lifts it in, and the header won. And again, not the direction to test Matt Ryan.
He's such a threat, though, isn't he? Kwak Tae-wee again. And Ryan very, very happy to see that come straight into his arms. It might have taken a deflection as well.
Didn't quite keep it in second time around. Lee Jung-hyuk.
They're just a bit sharper, aren't they, in their passing and their movement, South Korea. Australia just really hitting on the counter at the moment.
Oh, that's a beautiful ball. Leckie released, and he forces the keeper to palm it over the top for a corner. Matthew Leckie still looking for his first goal of the tournament.
Well, he's out left-hand side of the penalty box. He's got no one in the middle, an acre of space, and he elects to take on the shot. It's on target. It's got a lot of pace and power behind it, and Kim Jin-hyun just palms that one over the crossbar. Regulation save.
There's been 10 different goal scorers for Australia in this Asian Cup, but not Leckie. Now Luongo, and the header won. It was that man, Trent Sainsbury, trying to make it 2-2.
There are a lot of people in the box, a lot of bodies in the box. Sainsbury gets up over 2 South Koreans and just can't direct his header on target. And Kim Jin-soo on that near post anyway.
And he's another one that's no doubt catching the eye of European scouts. Trent Sainsbury, just as he did the eye of Ange Postecoglou in his A-League days. He is playing in the Dutch Eredivisie with Pek Zwolle. He might be destined for an even more prestigious club in the years to come.
I think there's a lot of talk already. Some of the big clubs in Holland already looking at Trent Sainsbury. He's been excellent with Eredivisie this season.
Yeah, Pek Zwolle don't have the same pedigree, but they're going all right. Money behind that club now, but there's the big guns, Ajax, PSV, Feyenoord. I'd be surprised if he winds up at one of those. Also talk of Tommy Orr, who's being tracked by Ajax, and he still hasn't had a start in this tournament. Tommy Orr, which has been a bit of a surprise for many observers. Offside, Lee Jung-hyuk. They were criticised defensively, weren't they, Australia at the World Cup? And they lost all 3 games, but much more work in this camp since they came in late December under Ange Postecoglou, and he's getting things right. And they're preparing their first substitution. Australia, and number 9, Tommy Juric. There goes Kim Jin-soo. And Franjic concedes nothing. It's a goal kick, last touch off the left back for South Korea. He's digging deep, isn't he?
He is, yeah. You just wonder whether he's feeling that injury came into the game under that cloud, but that was good defending. He showed him the line. He said to Kim Jin-soo, well, you're good enough to beat me. Kim Jin-soo rather unlucky.
Oh, fantastic skill. Breathtaking stuff from Davidson, who's pushing on into a dangerous spot. Cahill's unmarked in the middle. Credit the work of Kim Yong-guan. South Korea preparing a change as well. Lee Kun-ho is there, the number 11. And listen to this reception for Tim Cahill. They're on their feet at Stadium Australia. Australia's greatest ever goal scorer. No goals tonight, but it's all about the team, and his team is in front.
Well, Australia's greatest ever goal scorer and greatest ever player. I think we can safely say that. And now, for one of the new young guns, Tommy Juric, going to look into the future. Had a difficult game, didn't he, Timmy Cahill? Mostly up against Kwak Tae-wee. Had a snapshot in that first half that Kim Jin-hyun pushed away.
Lee Kun-ho straight into the action, winning the free kick. He scored at Brazil 2014, did Lee Kun-ho, against Russia. And how they could do with another goal from him tonight as Cahill prepares to receive some treatment from Les Gellis.
Well, he works so hard across that front line. Difficult task, found himself isolated at times tonight.
Franjic dives in and wins the ball cleanly. Early release for Leckie. He knew he had Luongo in support. All-action challenge from Kim Jin-soo. It might be a night for substitutes to make a real impact, because these players have put everything into the journey thus far. 64 minutes gone. Juric's first involvement, as he scored the only goal in the Asian Champions League final, as the Wanderers beat Al Hilal. He might get a chance here. Milligan out to Cruz. Wants it back, does Milligan. In a pocket down that right-hand side. Kept on moving and giving Cruz an option. And Jedinak was trying to pick out Cruz, who went the other way.
Yeah, he just went the other way. Just checked his run.
Tired past that from Park Joo-ho, and look at the easy turn from Robbie Cruz, who tried to slalom his way through and slipped at the key moment.
Yeah, and he wants Kim Yong-guan wants a yellow card for diving, but to be honest, he didn't dive, he just slipped over.
Chowdhury now going the other way, and Franjic will clear for Australia.
Yeah, probably went for the wrong ball there. Had Song Min just on his outside, end-to-end now.
Leckie brings it under control. He's got plenty of support arriving. South Korea out on their feet, perhaps. Luongo encouraged to shoot. Maintains possession, and Juric has drifted into a wide area. Luongo wanting Davidson to overlap. No surprise this game's opening up, Robbie.
Long tournament. If you analyse it and look at the World Cup, another yellow card, this one to Australia's captain, Mile Jedinak, but you get 1 day less recovery time than, say, the World Cup finals.
And that's why squad rotation throughout the tournament was so crucial. Australia did that in the group game against South Korea. And Postecoglou has spoken about that. But he's learnt that from previous tournaments. Australia was spent by the time they took on Spain at Brazil 2014. Cruz has been in the wars tonight. He's still down after that challenge. And a real concern, the way he's clutching his lower leg. was a knee injury that kept him out of the World Cup last year. Suffered in training with Australia. The referee wants to get him off the pitch so the game can continue, but I think Cruz has said to him, I might have a serious injury here. Medical staff showing real concern. Either way, it might be the end of his night, barring a miracle. And he's been shown a card by the referee. Interesting one, that.
I'm not sure what that's for. He must have only said it's a dive. There's no contact, so it's that twist of the ankle as he planted it. So he hasn't dived. He's gone down with an injury. It's just a poor decision from the referee. And by and large, has been good this evening.
As you pointed out, they asked the question earlier when he also slipped on the edge of the area when he was making a threatening move. And it is going to be a miracle recovery. I think he was worried about maybe an Achilles injury, which can end not just your night, but a season.
Ange Postecoglou is looking across all the way to the other side of the ground to see if he's okay.
Through the legs from Lee Kun Ho. Here comes Cha Du Ree, and too much on the pass from Park Joo Ho. Lee Chung Gyup arriving. Sainsbury rises ahead of him.
That was a poor pass from Park Joo Ho. Just had to roll Cha Du Ree in and send him out wide.
Good attacking header from Franjic. And Leckie all the way back to his right back. Heavy touch from Jedinak, and that led to the turnover. Won back quickly by his opposing skipper. Lee Kun Ho stopped in his tracks. Again, Cha Du Ree invited to push on. Rolls it to the substitute. Lee Kun Ho.
Park Joo Ho has moved out to the right-hand side with Lee Kun Ho.
They want to back off against Cha Du Ree, who can deliver, as we've seen throughout this tournament. Hopeful ball in that time. Tidied up by Jedinak.
It's Ki Sung Young, who's moved out to the left-hand side of midfield now.
One back by Luongo. Fan favourite here tonight. Backheel from Leckie was interesting. Juric made it work. Trying to get away from Kim Yong-Guang. The keeper can pick it up if he likes, even though Juric says it was a back pass.
Well, it wasn't. It was an interception. Cruz still down there. He's not going to have an option now. They're going to replace him.
Lee Kun Ho now. Teammates getting into the area. Good palm away from Matt Ryan.
And just look how open it is. How much space there is in that midfield area now.
Australia have got to be aware of the situation and get the ball out of play here. That's what Ange Postecoglou is encouraging Juric to try and do, or stop the game with a foul, and job done. It is the end of the night for Robbie Cruz. Here comes James Troisi, who rounded off that first up 4-1 win over Kuwait in stoppage time. Goal-scoring threat for Australia. And he'll slot in like for like. For Cruz, very versatile player. Took it away from Son, who thought he was fouled. And that is heartbreaking for Robbie Cruz. Hopefully not another long-term injury that he fought so hard to come back from, to be part of this tournament. Another change made. Park Joo Ho. He's disappointed with his efforts, isn't he? On comes Han Kuk Yong. Juric, Milligan rolling it out in front of Davidson. Cha Du Ree comes. Davidson rides that challenge. Little flick around the corner to Troisi. And he stands it up.
Yeah, he just didn't have enough space, did he? Just couldn't lift it over the defender with enough pace. Good work from Davidson, who's had a really good 15-20 minutes. Jason Davidson at left fullback. was given a free kick. And that challenge for Faghani. And Postecoglou not happy. We can feel the desperation now of the South Koreans.
Taking the free kick to Ki Sung-yong. Going to give Faghani the run around. Swept out to Chowdhury. And Kuk-yong, the new man. Neat little turn, fresh legs. Being used by Uli Stilica. Good cross into the area too. And Ki Sung-yong didn't think that Jedinak would miss that. If he'd reacted in time, he may have been able to pass that one into the back of the net.
Yeah, just found himself flat-footed, the three of them. Jung Hyuk also, and Son Hong-min just standing watching, really.
I think there's tears for Robbie Cruz. So unfortunate. Trying to force his way back into the Bayer Leverkusen lineup as well. He's getting a nice reception, but it's heartbreaking for him. And Ivan Faghani has a problem too. Is he going to put his hand up?
He's showing the emotion as well. And Australians suffering a couple of key injuries just as he turns here. Ivan Faghani will follow through from Kim Jin-soo, and then he feels it straight away.
Matt Mackay getting some final instructions as they check on Ivan Faghani's welfare and whether he'll be able to go on. Doing an impromptu fitness test on the sidelines.
Looked okay as well.
Sure, Ange Postecoglou would rather see him back out there.
He just don't want to come off in the final, do you? With South Korea pushing. Australia, you have to say, have defended very well.
Substitution made by Australia.
And Matt Mackay is on for Ivan Faghani. So a bit of a switch up. Mark Milligan's going to show his versatility and push out to fill in at right back. And Matt Mackay goes into the midfield engine room for Australia. Davidson quickly to the feet of Juric. And again, Kwak Tae-hui is penalised. Tim Cahill goes off and he's got another physical presence to deal with. And those two squared off in that Asian Champions League final. Rolled quickly to Troisi. Back to Milligan. Poor giveaway by Luongo, but straight back in there to try and win it back. Just over-eager was Troisi as we enter the final 15 minutes of normal time in Sydney in the Asian Cup final. Still Massimo Luongo's goal that separates the two sides. Matt Ryan came out of his area briefly, got worried about the fact he might have been handling outside of his area. And Uli Stilica asking the question. Matt Ryan might have got it right. Just.
Well, it's difficult to tell from that angle. Releases it back and catches it again. South Korea just committing niggly fouls, and that suits Australia with the time ticking away.
Matt Ryan must have been watching some of the cricket. That's what they do now with those catches on the boundary line. Here's Milligan getting forward. Here comes Matt Mackay, and Juric got in the road. I think Mackay was going to pull the trigger with the volley.
I think you're 100% right. Juric just got in his way.
Oh, good header. Sporanovic rising over the top of Lee Jung-hyuk.
And Lee Jung-hyuk has had little change out of either Sporanovic or Trent Sainsbury this evening.
That's a sloppy giveaway. Yong-guan can't get it past Matthew Leckie. 3-on-2 at the moment. He dwells in possession. Finds his mark though. Troisi trying to place it in the top corner. Keeper comes and Kim Jin-hyun claims.
Yeah, probably just not the ball he was looking for, Matty Leckie. Leckie there, I'd rather see him take on his last defender there. He's got so much speed. Just knock it past him and use that speed. Another foul. It's really stop-start at the moment.
It looks like a player low on confidence in the final third. Of course, his engine allows him to help out defensively, Matthew Leckie, but that's the one goal for his country.
And South Korea going quite often long now, and that suits Australia. That's where they're strong. Sainsbury and Sporanovic both very good in the air. Look at that space in the middle of the park.
Juric got back on side. It's a foot race here. Keeper hesitated and then came, and he got there in time. Kim Jin-hyun. What's your feel of this game at the moment? Who's more likely to score the game's second goal?
Well, South Korea been a bit disappointing in the last 15 minutes or so in that front third. As they were looking very dangerous at the end of that first half, the start of the second half. They've just fallen down in that final delivery. And Australia on the counter-attack, well, they just look like they're taking wrong options as well. 3-on-2 before with Leckie. It's end-to-end, but it's quite scrappy.
Look at Charbel Ray. Got away from the fresher James Troisi. Veteran right back. Headed away by Jedinak. Back into the area by Kook Yong. And that's another foul by Kwak Tae-Pui. Must be getting up to 5 or 6.
Yeah, and the same kind of foul every time into the back of the centre forward. It was Tim Cahill before, this time Tommy Juric.
Other referees might have lost patience by now. Can be booked for an accumulation of fouls. It was meant for Mackay. Davidson brought it under control. And Troisi getting plenty of touches since he's come on. Feet from Davidson, giving Chardou-Ree the run around. But he comes again. It's a shame he's going to be lost to international football because he gives so much, Chardou-Ree.
That was unlucky from Jason Davidson. Little space to work in, and Chardou-Ree did well defensively, but he tried to get in around the back of him. Again, South Korea go long.
And Matthew Leckie again pounces on one. Troisi tried to turn, that time Kwak Tae-Pui took it away legally. Again, that distribution of Ryan. Milligan taking a bit of a risk. Tidied up his misplaced pass. Troisi wins the foul, and James Postacoglu will be happy about that. As we go inside the final 10 minutes now.
And it's just that desperation, and this time it's the substitute. And Kook Yong with the foul, clear foul.
Lee Kun-ho now. Sporanovic can retreat to Ryan. They look disjointed now, South Korea.
Well, they both do to a certain extent. Australia holding their defensive line, but going forward they're rather disjointed. And you'd have to say that fatigue's playing a factor. In the middle of the park there's quite a bit of space. And players with late challenges now, a lot of free kicks.
Look at the desperation. Luongo eventually took it away from Song Heung-min. Oh, where's Matt Mackay going? Turns it over to Ki Sung-young.
See Australia get numbers back, even though they just didn't go quick enough then. He'll pick the pocket, or picked up that loose pass from Matty Mackay. Difficult for substitutes in a game like this. Pick up the pace of the game.
Kim Jin-soo.
And there's an example of that
closure of Sainsbury as well, going the other way, brought it under control.
But the cross from Kim Jin-soo, in a good area, fails to deliver.
Juric wants options. No one really working for him. And That's out of play again. Uli Stilica encouraging his team to dig deep and try and find this equaliser to force extra time for South Korea. Long throw, eludes Sainsbury. Ki Sung-young across the face of goal.
There's no one
Namakai there to tidy up ahead of Son Heung-min.
Well, what a brilliant throw from Kim Jin-soo, and just drifted into that area all on his own. And Jung Hyuk ran towards the near post when he should have peeled out to the back post.
Trying to slide that in behind Charduri.
He's been terrific, Charduri, he really has.
Gets his head up here and spots Lee Jung-hyuk
with no
Milligan
support.
helping out.
You see that the second ball though, that's where they've got to push on. Son Heung-min is just staying on that left-hand side and he's not really getting into the game.
Well, they're anxious, aren't they? The Australian fans hoping the Socceroos can hold on. And no shortage of support from the Red Devils in the stands as well.
Well, the South Korean supporters haven't stopped all evening. That's a good ball.
He's their star man winning the free kick.
And that's where he's got to get himself into those positions, because he's good in a tight area. Australia had numbers there. This is a difficult one. I just wonder, will he take the strike on? It's a long, long way out. But this one, to get the angle on some sort of ball for a header is very difficult because it's virtually straight onto the goal. Looks like he's going to take it on. Well, dare I say it, he's going to take something very special.
Son Heung-min off 5 steps. The wall is back a generous distance. What can Son Heung-min conjure? And it goes harmlessly over the crossbar.
Yeah, you just wonder. I mean, you know he's a fantastic player, but that sort of distance, I'm wondering whether Ronaldo was at this one. No disrespect, but
Every now and then, maybe.
yeah, maybe every now and then. But maybe better just to play a short one and start the play again.
Stretching for it was Milligan. Well, for Ki Sung-young, they're giving away free kicks in dangerous areas. You can see Uli Stilica saying, don't take it quickly, because we're a chance with Kwak Tae-hui getting forward.
And this is a better angle. And we've seen them score. Well, you talk about Kwak Tae-hui in the semi-final. It was on the other side of the pitch, of course. It was Kim Jin-soo with the delivery in that game, but Ki Sung-young, we know he can deliver. And they've got the big ones in there.
His delivery has been expert throughout the tournament. And Matt Ryan can let it come to him. Again, disciplined work defensively and a wonderful throw out to Matthew Leckie. Ange Postecoglou throws his hands in the air in frustration that Leckie wasn't able to let it run, and then a heavy touch allowed Hankook Yong in.
Well, it wasn't a touch. I think he tried to let it go past him and it caught him on the heel. It would have been away.
And it just gets away from Son Heung-min. Sainsbury able to make up the ground for Australia.
And find the right pass. Brilliant from Trent Sainsbury. But Son Heung-min there with a better touch. One-on-one with Sainsbury.
Well, the minutes flying by for South Korean fans. It's going a whole lot slower for fans of Australia. Here's Luongo. And closed down by a couple. And winning it back. Quick feet Milligan. Now Luongo can go forward if he likes. Somehow it breaks for Troisi. Pass one challenge. James Troisi slices it wide.
Just off the outside of the boot. Had the option of a little slide pass through to maybe Matthew Leckie, but can't really blame him there. Opens up for him, takes one touch there. Gets it and slices off the outside of his boot. A great angle there to see it. And so it's slicing well wide.
And now it's the fans in gold taking over. Trying to sing their team to the title. Through that time. Son Heung-min, lovely feet. To be doing that at this stage when all the players are digging so deep. And that time, Ki Sung-young with an offensive foul, if you like, in basketball parlance. Trent Sainsbury agreed with the decision.
Well, of course he would. Not sure if I do it. Strikers always using their body when they're receiving the ball back to goal. Rather strange one. Most of the fouls have gone the other way. Defenders into the backup players.
And Lee Jung-hyuk, a striker, has been dragged for a centre-half. Kim Joo-yong out there, and that's allowed them to release Kwak Tae-hui, who they think they're going to get more mileage out of, leading the line. So, interesting call from Uli Stilica. There'll be no Gundarella story tonight, if you like, for the young striker.
Well, he's got to try something because they haven't really looked like scoring. They've been decent in their approach.
Not a lot of faith in the strikers he has in reserve, though. It did look a little light on that when their squad was selected, South Korea. Good throw taken. And the fans jump in the air, hoping Ki Sung-young can track it down.
Yeah, but who's there to slide across? Trent Sainsbury.
Mackay letting it bounce. Wants it back from Davidson. Runs for Leckie, moves it on quickly to Troisi. Juric on the move in the middle. James Troisi will track it down. Luongo encouraged to shoot, drives it straight into Han Kuk-yong. But dives in, wins it back, but Son Heung-min was nearly able to release Kwak Tae-hui, who was onside. Great play, Luongo again.
And that's where you need just that composure in the middle of the park from someone. Just a bit frantic from South Korea. Son Heung-min being able to get anything on that pass to release Han Kuk-yong.
Troisi flicking it down the line. Good foot race this. Look shoulder to shoulder, but the decision goes against Leckie. No complaints from him, though. As Kim Joo-yong took a tumble, and they're going to be looking anxiously at the fourth officials board in a few moments to see how much stoppage time there'll be. 1 minute of normal time to go.
I think at least 4, maybe even 5. Been a lot of substitutions.
And that injury stoppage for Robbie Cruz as well. Oh, hands on hips. Uli Stilica can't believe it because the man he's thrust forward has been penalised there. But backing into Mile Jedinak. Share of the 76,000 in here tonight. Getting very, very excited about the prospect of the full-time whistle. Juric around the corner. They've seen some 1-0 results at this venue against Uruguay to ultimately force penalties in 2005. That was a famous night. They beat Iraq here at this venue to qualify for Brazil 2014 as well. And they lead 1-0 thanks to Massimo Luongo. And it's only 3 minutes of stoppage time to negotiate now for Australia. They've left a man, Ki Sung-young of all people, unmarked near side. They're good enough defensively though. There's space out on this left-hand side now. And Uli Stilica says just calm down. There's still enough time if you pick the right options. Yong-guan looking for his normal central defensive partner in Kwak Tae-hui. Here's a go, right through the middle. Son Heung-min for South Korea in stoppage time. Their superstar makes it 1-1, and we're seemingly destined to go to extra time. The Red Devils celebrate at the northern end. What a dramatic conclusion.
Well, that is extraordinary. And you had Uli Stilica on the sideline saying, calm down, don't pump it forward. Keep passing the ball, be patient. Well, I think there was Yong-guan who's gone, well, we've got Kwak Tae-hui out there, let's just get it up there. And then it was the second ball, and Son Heung-min pounced onto it. Matt Ryan came, and that's a very good finish. He kept his composure. A little mistake maybe there from Trent Sainsbury with that connection. Clever little inside ball there. He just puts his boot through it. And he beats Ryan at the near post, but he's too close. He's too close in, and there's too much power in it. Extraordinary.
And Australia might have just been putting the second hand on the trophy until Son Heung-min snatched it away with his 10th international goal in game number 40 for his country.
Wow. Well, you can't say they haven't deserved it on the play. They've left it late.
And suddenly those moments for Australia with space for the likes of Matthew Leckie and co to perhaps kill it off and make it 2-0.
No, but on their part, South Korea have had their chances as well. We think of the first half, front third until that moment. They had opportunities in good areas, and the game has been so tight. It almost deserves extra time.
And that's what we're going to get. Unless there's the most traumatic winner. And we're still there again. The voice of reason on the sideline.
Well, they just had numbers there, and it was Kwek Tae-wee who threw up front. Long ball from Yong-Guan, and it just bounced in the right way, and they released the star player who didn't disappoint.
And there are the two goal scorers. Son Heung-min came up with that dramatic late equaliser. He's trying to fire up his team now. Ange Postecoglou has to rally his troops. Now, after Massimo Luongo had scored a sensational goal just before the half-time whistle, South Korea reply in kind before the full-time whistle. They may well have been moving the presentation stage into position, but we're going to go another 30 minutes because it's 1-1 at full-time. Wow, what does Ange Postecoglou say to the Australian players who must have been thinking about the celebrations until 3 or 4 minutes ago?
Well, it's a knockout. It's not a knockout blow. It's a knockout punch, and it's whether they can pick themselves up. It's a little bit like South Korea, the better team in the first half, and they got a knockout punch, and they picked themselves up, but gee, they left it a long, long time. And that, you just think, will that swing the momentum? But we've seen the Socceroos dig in deep before. No more substitutes to use.
Forced to use most of them was Ange Postecoglou. Injuries to Robbie Cruz and Ivan Franjic. What about the injury problems that Uli Stilica has had to negotiate in this tournament? The loss of stars, Koo-Jia Chol and Lee Chung-yong. As we take another look back at the 2 goals in this game.
Well, this seems like an eternity ago. Massimo Luongo with a piece of individual brilliance to split open that defensive structure. And here's the last one. There's Kwek Tae-wee. Trent Sainsbury just not sure with his touch, and he just pounced onto it. Put his boot through it. Matt Ryan maybe could have made himself a little bit bigger at the near post. Ange Postecoglou can't believe it. So close. But that's football. We see it all the time. And we're seeing it again this evening. What about, not the same kind of match, but the quarterfinal, Iran, Iraq. I mean, so many twists and turns in that game. And we get a late twist here from South Korea.
And Uli Stilica issuing the instructions via the translator. Just another obstacle he has to overcome. And we're not too far away from kickoff in extra time. You could see the disappointment in Ange Postecoglou's face. So often domestically, at club level, it's been his team producing dramatic late comebacks. Think of the Brisbane Roar when they won back-to-back titles under him in the A-League. Shin Tae-yong, they call him the Asian Mourinho. He's in there, barking out the instructions. The assistant coach for South Korea, won the Asian Champions League A few years back, he actually played in Australia with the then Queensland Roar. Just one game before injury forced him into coaching. And he's a very handy right-hand man for Uli Stilica. And now that the fans have overcome the disappointment of their team not winning the Asian Cup at the end of normal time, they look ready to cheer them on for another half hour. And Son Heung-min, after all those chances around the half-hour mark for South Korea, finally found the equaliser. Australia get things started in extra time.
And it'll be interesting just to see if the momentum South Korea with that late equaliser, can Australia come back? And like you said, did have their opportunities, didn't they? The game got very frantic, a lot of space in that middle of the park, but in the balance of play, you couldn't really deny South Korea an equaliser, although heartbreaking for the Socceroos. And they were so close to getting their hands on the trophy.
And Kwak Tae-hui didn't come up with the equaliser, but that move of him out of defence up forward by Uli Stilica, what a call to make. And he must have had the defence in two minds as well, and allowed Son Heung-min to get into a dangerous area as well. He saw the space and he made the most of it. And there's Kwak Tae-hui rising. Skoranovic trying to get around the back. Centre-half come forward with not a bad cross. No one flashing across the near post for South Korea. Mackay with his head up.
You know, and you look out there and, you know, international caps for Australia. There's a lot there with not many, and they've performed so well in this tournament. You know, you look at someone like Jedinak now to really lead this team. He is the captain, we expect that. But even more with, you know, Timmy Cahill out there.
No more substitutions available for either coach to try and spark something in this extra time period. And the line for Troisi. Shown a good engine tonight, hasn't he? Chang Hyun-soo
as the first cramp. I suspect it won't be the last.
No sympathy coming from the stands.
I was just wondering, is that... Yeah, it's Jong Hyun-soo.
So he's run himself into the ground for Stilica.
Well, he's found himself in the left-back position there. Of course, he's in midfield, so he's covered a lot of territory. He's just going to have to dig in.
Going to have to go off for the time being, so they'll defend this with 10 men. And Australia take the opportunity to launch a long throw in the direction of Tommy Juric, perhaps. And it is Milligan with that option. Leckie, it is jumping for it.
They couldn't get any power on that header under pressure, and just wouldn't drop for Tommy Juric, just sniffing there in the 6-yard box.
Read by Jedinak, aiming on the blind side of Kwak Tae-hui. Luongo drifting into the right area, allowing himself to turn with the initial touch. And Postecoglou not happy with the ball going backwards instead of forwards in those midfield areas.
And after the game becoming very, very stretched, South Korea have just getting their structure somewhat there. He's dropping off.
High boot, the call. As Luongo won it ahead of Lee Kun-ho. Rolled quickly to the Swindon Town man. Mackay. Luongo pouncing on the second ball. Mackay has another crack. Davidson staying forward. Crossing on his right, not his preferred option, but Luongo caught it out of the air with the use of the arm, according to the referee. No complaints from Australia's goal scorer.
probably the right decision, you would say. Just a miss-hit cross from Davidson, just fell to Luongo, just couldn't catch it cleanly on the chest.
Australia in extra time for the second straight Asian Cup final. And was goalless after the 90 minutes against Japan 4 years ago in Qatar. This time around, the dramatic late equaliser from Son Heung-min and South Korea, who are seeking to end their 55-year drought since they lifted their second Asian Cup. Sainsbury with time to survey the options. Spranovic able to push on into South Korean territory. To Milligan. Troisi rolling it to the feet of Leckie. Turning away from the initial markers. Still Matthew Leckie. Gets it out towards Luongo. Kept in by Kim Jin-soo. Tracked down by Troisi. Oh, lovely turn again. Luongo. Juric trying to get in there. Well defended by South Korea.
Oh, that was the key. Brilliant turn from Massimo Luongo. And cut out at that near post. Tommy Juric really making a run to that near post. It was a decent cross. Flashing across the 6-yard box.
Davidson did well to see off the threat of Lee Kun-ho. Then he gave him a chance. Spranovic over the top of the ball, according to many, I'm sure. He left his man down. South Korea want the ball put out of play, and Leckie is going to agree to that. But I think Spranovic might be a lucky boy here.
Well, I'm going to say, I thought it was accidental. As he lunges in as well, Lee Kun-ho. And it's rather a clumsy one. And look, I don't think there's an intent there. I mean, they're both throwing themselves into it.
When you see players go over the ball and collect someone with studs up like that, often there's no sympathy and the card is shown.
Yeah, but I think it's more mistimed than anything. It's the one over the top that's hurt him the most. The one that went over the top of the ball actually touched the top of the ball and came down very quick, but...
he has been booked, of course, so only needed a yellow card to be sent to the showers.
That's a fair shout. Tried to put up a defence for him. But the referee, when you look at those replays, might have seen that differently. He was a long way from it. Now it's more cagey again. It's amazing how the game changes, doesn't it? In the late equaliser now, a lot slower.
Offside against Juric this time. I think they were pretty confident in the back four for South Korea that they'd caught their man. Kim Joo-yong is thanking the assistant for the flag. Rises, as does Jason Davidson. Mak Tae-hui gone back into a more defensive area. Offside flag goes up here. So both of the South Korean players must have been in an offside position. Son Heung-min thought the flag might have stayed down for him. Almost heart and mouth time for Matt Ryan. Davidson through the legs. Lee Kun-ho was inviting that, wasn't it? Good movement off the line from Juric, and not a bad option to Luongo. He can wait for Milligan perhaps. Instead he teases one in. Good goalkeeping. Punching it clear, Kim Chin-hyun. And now Jedinak gets underneath it.
That's brilliant goalkeeping from Kim Chin-hyun. Terrific little ball in from Massimo Luongo. Started on the left by Jason Davidson. Good play from him, and that's good goalkeeping because he doesn't come. He's got to tap in. Ball from Luongo. And you say he's coming in on that, and the keeper makes the right decision to come. Troisi, if he hadn't had a tap in.
Those slow motion replays, brilliant. Watching the faces of the South Korean defenders, hoping that wasn't going to pick out an Australian attacker. Referee, I think he was pointing Australia's way for a moment there. And the last touch off Mackay is the call. Be separated in this 30-minute extra time period. We've got the prospect of a penalty shootout to decide who lifts the Asian Cup. Pak Tae-hui brought down by Sporanovic. On a personal level there, Pak Tae-hui's got some unfinished business. Losing out in the Asian Champions League final. And he'll be the target here, you'd reckon. The back post. Header one back across goal. A one-hand ball against Jedinak. Nothing in it. Juric hoping to turn and release Leckie. He's held in possession too long. Han Kuk-yong took it off his boot. Ki Sung-yong getting his head up. Just got back onside with Pak Tae-hui. Looking to bend that one. It takes a deflection, which favoured Davidson. And Chadu Ri on the follow-up. Ryan comes. And the release to Luongo. Oh, nice play. Ki Sung-yong took it away, and here's a go. In behind. And across the face, Ryan palms it away and just keeps it out of the reach of Jang Kyun-soo.
That was great work from Kim Jin-soo. Somehow it looked like he was running out of space there. Engineered across, and Matt Ryan just with one hand, and no one there for South Korea.
Jedinak out to Jason Davidson. In towards Juric, winning the header from a long way out, and keeper wasn't too concerned. Watched it go out for the goal kick, but what about Jason Davidson, who's getting no game time at club level with West Bromwich Albion, and an ever-willing runner as we take a look at the other left-back getting forward.
Gets past Trent Sainsbury there, whips it across, good stop from Ryan. And it was Jang Hyun-soo coming in, the ball went the other side of him. But he's had a terrific game, Jason Davidson at left fullback.
Yeah, with him not getting any game time in the English Premier League at the Hawthorns, and probably be hoping that he's caught the eye in this tournament and other clubs are interested. Good play in the first two games when he joined them after the World Cup, but nothing since. 2 minutes to go in the first period of extra time. And if you're tuning in late, it was a dramatic conclusion to the ends of both halves. Australia struck before half-time, South Korea just before full-time, and offside flag against Pak Tae-hui.
Yeah, it wasn't the best of balls forward anyway. It's been really tight in this first half of extra time.
Matthew Sporanovic just unaware of that rule, that if you take a free kick inside your defensive box, it's got to leave the area before you can touch it.
Oh, you think he's unaware?
I do. A lot of players are unaware of that rule for some reason. Going to be space in the middle of the pitch now, but they're keeping it in a tight area on that right-hand side, Australia. Misplaced pass. A lot of tired bodies out there now. Might take something special for either team to find a goal here, or perhaps a defensive mistake with those tired legs. Sloppy turnover there. Allowing Luongo to pounce. Nice option from Mackay. Juric in a wide area. Going for goal from out there. Going to win it back off Kim Jin-soo. Big man Tommy Juric. Fans want a whistle. Not going to get it. Still in play. And risky play. And there might be a tap in here. There is! Australia go in front! James Troisi is the Johnny on the spot. Risky play from Son Heung-min of all people. Allowed Tommy Juric in. And James Troisi applies the finishing touch. It's another goal just before a break.
Well, just pure persistence from Tommy Juric. He just refused to let it up, and you have to say it's a mistake because you shouldn't be allowing him to get out of this. Kim Jin-soo first, and then Juric, he forces it around. He's actually looking for the free kick, and then Son Heung-min, I think he touches it. Kim Jin-soo can only get a palm on it. He palms it straight into the path, and James Troisi just takes a chance coming late into the box and lifts it high into the net. Dramatic stuff from Australia.
And they're crestfallen, the South Koreans. What a mistake. And James Troisi celebrates in familiar Australian style with the corner flag. Just his third goal for his country. He had to wait a long time after scoring his first against New Zealand in 2011. And now he's got two in this tournament. And it's Australia now with all the momentum. Remarkable. They lead 2-1 at half-time and extra
South
time.
Korea, so preventable. I mean, he was on the ground. He's looking for a free kick. They've got two players there, Kim Jin-soo and Son Heung-min, who come back to help him out. And Son Heung-min just toe-poked it through Kim Jin-soo's legs, and Juric sent him on his way along the byline. Kim Jin-soo can only palm it into the path of James Troisi, who said thank you very much.
You got any theory on why all these goals are happening just before breaks? Do some players clock off?
No, none whatsoever. Look, you had said it just minutes before. You're going to take something special or a defensive mistake, and that's exactly what we just got.
Well, what an atmosphere.
Well, now it's going to go back. South Korea, after having gone a little bit disjointed in the search for that equaliser, throwing everything forward, letting Australia counter-attack. In this first half of extra time, they went back to their structure, and they've come undone. Kwak Tae-wee has gone back to centre half.
Kim Yong-gwon's pushed into midfield, and they're sending that man who was dealing with cramp up forward. He nearly got on the end of things earlier, Chang Kyun-soo. Australia 2-1 up, courtesy of that strike from James Troisi. And they hold on to this lead for these home fans who are going off in Sydney. He's onside here, Lee Kun-ho. And he whipped one across the face. Teammates arriving at the back post. He saw a man there, it's Ki Sung-young.
Once he came back, it was always going to be more difficult.
Sainsbury's picked out a teammate again. Matthew Leckie on a wavelength. And Mackay says, chase that one. And just too much on it. Isn't a bad idea. He might not get a better opportunity to score another goal for his country. His second, Matthew Leckie. Then in this period, as South Korea chase the game, there'll be more and more space for Australia. They'll try and look for a killer goal. He still looks full of running. The man who plays with Ingolstadt in Germany. Juric, if he left that for Matt Mackay would have been okay, but Juric got involved and the flag went up.
And that's why Mackay just had a word to Tommy Juric. He was probably yelling at him, just leave it.
Favourite to win the header. Couldn't bring it down from Mackay though. So job done so far as South Korea are concerned. Quickly into the front third. Plenty of teammates on the edge of the area here if Kim Yong-gwon can work something. Comes off the outside of his boot and forces Kim Jin-soo backwards. Well, what a tournament it's been. And you just wouldn't put it past South Korea, providing yet another twist. He's having a go here, Ki Sung-young, because Matt Ryan does like to play a long way outside of his area.
Yeah, it was rather ambitious. He's missed it by a long way, and it's easy to say now, I guess, but can really ever look on.
This game being watched by tens of millions around the world, and that would have been a YouTube hit. And he managed to score from his own half there, Ki Sung-young, to equalise in extra time. Mackay can pick up the scraps here. Down the line, looking for Leckie. Chowdhury can only put it out of play.
And that's what Australia just need to... it's frantic, but they try to try and keep the ball when they get possession.
Able to turn this time. Juric goes down, and they ask the question without a spot kick, waved off by Mr. Faghani. And now Sainsbury strides forward, sensing an opportunity. Can't release Juric. Leckie over the top. Brings it down for Troisi. Still James Troisi. Couldn't find Tommy Juric.
No, just couldn't find the feet of Tommy Juric. Neat little turn, Troisi. There's the claim for the penalty. He's none of the ball, has he? It's a clumsy challenge at best. And the substitute, Han Kuk-yong.
Tommy Juric thought he had a great case.
I wonder if South Korea have the energy to get another equaliser. They're looking tired. Both sets of players looking tired now.
Oh, that's a breathtaking turn from Matt Mackay. He draws the cheers. And there might be an opportunity here. Leckie takes the wrong option but gets away with it. Now there's an opportunity. Tommy Juric cutting back inside. And they're making heavy weather of some of those opportunities, Australia.
Well, I don't know why he comes back inside there. Jason Davidson. Tommy Juric has a better touch. He's got to take a chance on his right foot off Earl there. I know he's getting closed down, but quite often, if you take a touch and just take that gamble, quite often you can see it go through the legs of a keeper and across, through the legs of the defender and across the keeper. That's a clear foul from Kim Jin-soo.
Well, what about the emotional roller coaster tonight and right throughout this tournament for all the sets of fans? And that man as well. Almost reaching out to touch the trophy as we entered stoppage time at the end of the 90. With Uli Stilica, his side pulled it out of the fire. Now on the run goes Troisi.
Well, he's a bit unlucky, wasn't he? He's looked so... Now, that's what fresh legs does. Troisi has plenty of energy.
Kim Yong-gwon playing in midfield now and looking for that man Son Heung-min. It's a lovely ball from who's normally playing centre half, and no way past Mark Milligan.
Good defending from Milligan.
That's probably another reason for Milligan's selection tonight, the fact that he could fill in for Franjic at right back.
Versatile, without a doubt. In fact, if Franjic hadn't made it, he might have been the one starting in that position.
Long throw from Kim Jin-soo for South Korea at the drop of the ball. Ki Sung-young, Lee Kun-ho able to let it run and now think about picking out a teammate. Not a bad ball in. And trying to invent something was Kim Yong-gwon.
Yeah, probably falls to the wrong player. Big centre half, he's pushed up forward and just a tired effort really, because he picks him out, see? He's under a bit of pressure, but you just wonder if that's an attacker, maybe try and take it first time on the volley.
All left foot, isn't he? Kim Yong-gwon, he scored in the previous game, the semi-final against Iraq, with the benefit of a deflection. The confidence level's high for the centre half.
energy levels low.
Another one to chase, and Matt Ryan says it's all mine. The 22-year-old goalkeeper plays for Club Rouge in Belgium. An article about him in the local press, paying tribute to his mum, who used to ferry him around these parts of Sydney as a youngster, chasing his dream. His mum had the advice: do you want to be the best at 13 when he was cut from the high school team, or do you want to be the best at 22? Keep on working and your time will come. And here he is on the big stage. As Jedinak books clear. Lee Kun Ho can't keep it in.
Yeah, just very tight. He's had some opportunities on that right-hand side since coming on, Lee Kun Ho. He's the one that set up the winner in the group stage for Jean Kyuk.
Another chance. Well, they want handball there. Brought under control by Son Heung-min. Now Ki Sung-yong, and it's a key block. Both centre-halves were diving in there. And they stopped the effort that had plenty of power from Ki Sung-yong. Now Son Heung-min, Lee Kun Ho, and Sainsbury there to clear the danger again.
A terrific block on Ki Sung-yong. That was certainly on target, and then just a missing shot from Lee Kun Ho. And South Korea press again. They're finding something.
An ever-willing runner, but that time Matt Mackay cut it out. And Juric, can he get the first flick? He gets past the initial marker. Now he makes it a foot race, but the fresh legs win out there. Kim Joo-yong. He's going to be offside there, doesn't bother chasing. The fans say, why not? And he was aware he wasn't quite back on side in time.
Direct ball they got success with right at the end of normal time. Still got 5 minutes, South Korea, to find an equaliser.
Uli Stilica directing traffic from the sideline.
Yeah, Australia getting deep.
Ki Sung-yong past Milligan. Lovely surging run from the skipper. Kept in by Kim Jin-soo.
Yeah, Kim Jin-soo is just on his heels there. He didn't expect that from Ki Sung-yong. He should have. And he somehow managed to keep the ball in and wins his side a throw-in. It'll be the long one.
It's almost as good as a corner, isn't it? Milligan worked so hard to prevent the corner, but it's going to come into a dangerous area. And Milligan tidies up. Not the elevation Kim Jin-soo was after that time. And Leckie just stumbled as he tried to twist his way past Yong-gwon. Using that long throw for good effect. Look at Han Kuk-yong in the middle.
Good pass out to Cha Du-ri.
Getting goal side of Davidson.
That's a good ball.
A test for Spranovic, wasn't it, facing his own goal?
And you look at two centre halves in there, and not the natural instinct to maybe attack that near post. But very deep, Australia, South Korea pushing and pressing.
Ki Sung-yong, well aware of how long it's been since his country has lifted the Asian Cup, putting everything in to the closing stages.
Australia holding firm, aren't they? They're deep, but they're still defending in good areas, taking up good positions. But as we saw with that, going back to it, Son Heung-min's equalise. You only need the ball to bounce the wrong way in the penalty area for it to break to somebody.
He's got the measure of Tom Juric, doesn't he? Kim Joo-yong doing a good job on the substitute striker, trying to fill the boots of Tim Cahill.
And it's hard for Juric because he certainly is isolated at the moment, so he's got two to contend with. And the ball's coming up to him, really just long balls.
Australia inviting the pressure now as Chowdhury pushes on again. And Matt Ryan, good communication with his defence that time.
Relieved defenders. As that goes into the arms of Matt Ryan and clock ticking away.
Frustration for Kim Jin-soo, who won the header between Leckie and Juric. Uli Stilica and the referee giving Australia the hurry up. They start to sing again in the stands, the Aussie supporters. They weren't able to close it out at the end of regulation. Here's Luongo. Gives it alive for Juric. Luongo still. Teammates wait in the middle. Juric electing for the corner flag option. Doesn't pay off. Uli Stilica trying to encourage his team to push out. Yadanak's header's intelligent. Allowed Luongo to bring it down. Now Leckie around the corner. And playing in Troisi, who rides the initial challenge. Luongo can't keep it alive.
It just wouldn't sit for him, would it?
A little nudge there.
Foul, yep. Mark Milligan. Kwakte-Wei.
90 seconds plus whatever stoppage time.
Yeah, he was just about to play that quick. Kim Jin-soo and Uli Stilica screaming at him. No. Let's try and get a quality ball in and see if we can get something. Ki Sung-yong over the ball. Ange Postecoglou looks on. He's been in this position before.
Ki Sung-yong hangs it up. Matt Ryan says it's mine. He comes and punches. And the referee says it's a free kick for offside. So again, disciplined defensively, Australia.
Yeah, offside position, I think, is what the decision was. And it's really drifting away now. Can they do another miracle? Australia defending well. Such an even and tight game.
Well, what a sight it is. All the fans in gold on a golden night in Australian football, seemingly. That man's the hero at the moment. Scored the goal as the first half of extra time came to a conclusion. And here he is again, buying some time. And Luongo with those quick feet that fell for Chowdhury, and look at the determination of Sainsbury and Sporanovic. They're first there ahead of Kwakte-Wei as 1 minute goes up on the board. Can they finish with a flourish?
You see Leckie, and it's just not in the nature of this team to run to the corner flag, but they're just a bit of composure, but they still look like they've got the energy in South Korea. Likely, you'd have to say.
He lost out in possession. One final chance for South Korea. Their skipper tries to play a killer ball. They're into the area through Son Heung-min. Now Kwakte-Wei. Kim Yong-gwon. It's breaking for Lee Kun-ho, who's offside. And never have Australian fans been happier to see a flag raised than right there.
Yeah, he was already standing there, Lee Kun-ho. He tried to shift the ball out to the right, but it's over.
Australia has done it. The Socceroos, kings of the continent for the first time. They're the champions of Asia in 2015. What a night in Sydney. Full of drama, and the two goal scorers embrace. Massimo Luongo with an amazing goal at the end of the first half of normal time. South Korea snatched it away from Australia at the end of the 90 when Son Heung-min struck. But then in extra time, James Troisi had an empty net to find after they took a risk defensively, South Korea. And they are 0-4 in Asian Cup finals now. Their 55-year wait to lift the Asian Cup goes on. But Ange Postecoglou has the Midas touch. Took over the job in late 2013, and now in January 2015, the 31st of January 2015, it's going to be a famous night in Australian football history. They're going to lift the Asian Cup for the first time.
Yeah, amazing scenes, and credit South Korea for their contribution, not only in the final, but in the whole tournament. No one had scored against them up until the final. Australia have done it twice, but such an even and tight game, dramatic. You know, in games like this, you always say it, it's the old cliche, it didn't deserve a loser, but someone has to. Thankfully, I must say it's not on penalties, but Australia found the reserves and the energy to get a winner. And Ange Postecoglou deserves all the credit for the work he's done. He said, judge me at the Asian Cup. Well, he's gone and lifted it.
Full time after extra time. Australia 2, South Korea 1. And all the substitutes have removed the bibs. They're all donning the gold, all the support staff as well. Sad way for Charduri to end his international career. Alex Wilkinson, who plays against him in South Korea at club level, with congratulations at the end of his 75-game career for his country. Wasn't to be tonight on a spectacular night in Sydney that these fans will never forget. Anyone who was here for the match against Uruguay when Australia ended their 32-year wait to go to a World Cup will remember that night when a John Aloisi penalty sent them to Germany 2006. And then that night when they beat Iraq by a 0-0 to qualify for Brazil 2014. And this one is right up there. Australia win the Asian Cup at the third attempt. Tears for South Korea. What a job Uli Stilic has done. He only took the job in September last year, and Trent Sainsbury is the man of the match. The young man who was frowned upon by the previous coach in charge of Australia, Holger Osick, didn't like his attitude.
His relaxed attitude.
Thought he was too laid back.
Yeah. And I think maybe Ange Postecoglou might have had his doubts in the beginning. But I know there was some conversations between him and Graham Arnold, who of course gave Trent Sainsbury the start, if you want, and said, trust in this kid. And look what he's done. And look where he's going. And he's an Asian Cup winner, like all his teammates and his coach. Enjoy the moment.
And Ange Postecoglou, it brings a tear to his eye, because this is what he wanted the game to be like in this country. Packed houses, enjoying the entertainment factor that the Socceroos now provide. And it's his moment. Ange Postecoglou. 7 out of 7 in grand finals, if you like. He's perfect and in 7th heaven at the moment. Wonderful scenes. And now it'll all be about qualification for Russia 2018, of course. And can they do this away from home?
Let's enjoy the moment, please. But yeah, we'll think about that another day. But South Korea, and there's the champions. There they are. They've got the shirts on already. But South Korea going down to thank their fans. That's a great touch as well from South Korea. Have contributed massively to the final and of course the whole tournament. And Uli Stilic, as you pointed out, a brilliant job. But they're the winners, and the winners are the Greenies.
The Socceroos are the champions of Asia. What do those words mean to you?
Oh, mate. Yeah, I'm no good for words right now, mate. I'm just really just super proud of everyone, the players, the staff, the whole organisation, and I couldn't be happier, mate. You know, it was a different kind of game tonight. It was tough. It was a final, and you've got to grind it out. And no one knows better than me that it never goes to script. There's always twists, but the courage the players showed tonight, you know, was enormous.
It seems like for yourself in particular, the finals always tend to go right down to the wire for yourself. Talk me through that extra time period and how it was getting the boys up after conceding right at the death there.
Look, my only concern was because we conceded so late that, you know, the boys would be, you know, that heartbroken that they couldn't pick themselves up. But I knew we'd finish stronger. You know, we've prided ourselves on being really fit and working hard, and I told them we've definitely got half an hour of petrol in us. I didn't think they did, and it's just a matter of taking our chance, and we did it. And as I said, I'm super proud of them.
You've grown up loving football. It's part of your life, part of your makeup. What does this mean for the game in Australia?
Mate, and that's, I guess that's, you know, that's the biggest thing for me, just to look around this stadium, and I know the whole country will be off their couches and won't be able to sleep tonight. It's a great game, mate. It's a fantastic game. I'm biased. I think it's the greatest game in the world, and you know, hopefully from now on us Aussies can take on the world with it, because I've got a real belief in these young guys, and not just the young guys, this whole group, and I've just got real belief in Aussie footballers, and you know, we'll move on from here.
Congratulations, Ange, going into it.
Thank you, mate.
Yes, Ange Postecoglou, these players have spoken about the fact that he gives them so much confidence. South Korea crestfallen, had their chances. Most observers would have thought they'd take the lead in that first half. Ange Postecoglou congratulating the vanquished for their tournament. And what a showing they put in. Son Heung-min in particular battled illness earlier in the tournament. Came up with that dramatic late equaliser to force extra time. But they conceded their first goals of the tournament tonight. And Australia coming up with two through Massimo Luongo and James Troisi. A famous night. What a spectacle it has been here at Stadium Australia. And now all the fans hanging around to watch the trophy get lifted.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome onto the stage the AFC president and the dignitaries for the presentation of medals and awards to the officials and players of the AFC Australia 2015. Ladies and gentlemen, in recognition and appreciation on hosting the AFC Asian Cup Australia 2015, we'd like to invite AFC President, His Excellency Sheikh Salman bin Ibrahim Al Khalifa, to present the appreciation plaque to the host country. Please welcome on stage Mr. Frank Lowy, President of Football Federation Australia, to receive the plaque. Ladies and gentlemen, as an appreciation to the match officials of the final, we'd like to invite Dato Alex Suse, AFC General Secretary, to present the commemorative medals to the referees of the final match. Please welcome on stage the referee of the final match, Faghani Alireza Mohammed from Iran. Assistant referee number 1, Sokandan Reza Ibrahim from Iran. Assistant referee number 2, Abul Fazli Mohammed Reza Hussein, also from Iran. And the 4th official, Hamadazi Fahad Adwan from Saudi Arabia. In order to present the AFC Asian Cup Australia 2015 Fair Play Award presented by Epson, please welcome Mr. Ian Cameron, General Manager, Seiko Epson Corporation. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the Fair Play Award is Australia. This award is presented to the team who's performed with the greatest merit throughout the tournament in the virtue of fair play. Ladies and gentlemen, the AFC Asian Cup Australia 2015 Best Goalkeeper Award is presented by Continental Tires and will be awarded by Mr. Frank Lowy, President of the Football Federation of Australia. The Best Goalkeeper Award goes to Matthew Ryan from Australia for his excellent performance during the entire tournament. The AFC Asian Cup Australia 2015 Top Goal Scorer Award is presented by Monica Minolta and will be presented by His Royal Highness Princess Mullah Ibn Sultan Ahmad Shah, AFC Vice President and Chairman of the Organising Committee for the AFC Asian Cup 2015. The Top Goal Scorer Award presented by Konica Minolta goes to player number 7, Ali Mabkout from United Arab Emirates, who scored a total of 5 goals throughout the tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, the AFC Asian Cup Australia 2015 Most Valuable Player Award is presented by Toyota and will be awarded by Mr. David Butner, President, Toyota Motor Corporation, Australia. The AFC Asian Cup Australia 2015 Most Valuable Player is player number 21 for Australia, Massimo Luongo. The most valuable player of the competition presented by Toyota is awarded to the player who's shown excellence in play and his overall contribution to their team during the entire tournament. Please welcome Mr. Chung Mong-gyu, President of Korean Football Association. He will present the runners-up medals tonight at Stadium Australia. The AFC Asian Cup Australia 2015 runner-up is Korea Republic. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've all been waiting for. The champions who have won the AFC Asian Cup Australia 2015 trophy. It's our honour to welcome His Excellency Sheikh Salman bin Ibrahim Al Khalifa, AFC President, and Mr. Joseph S. Blatter, FIFA President, to present the champions medals. Ladies and gentlemen, the champions of the AFC Asian Cup Australia 2015 is the host nation, Australia. AFC President, His Excellency Sheikh Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Khalifa, who will present the Champions Trophy to Australia.
The Socceroos, champions of Asia for the first time. The host nation celebrates big time. Asian Cup champions of 2015. Australia with their hands on the Asian Cup for the first time. The Socceroos lift it. The women's team, the Matildas, have already lifted the Asian Cup a few years back now, but it's the Socceroos' turn tonight. And it's going to be party time in the city of Sydney.